Fun part with the next story. Our next storyteller was a favorite in the month of March with the story titled, How Dare You Insult My DNA? Please welcome with a roaring thunder and applause, Leonie Ringrose.
It's a Friday morning in 1999. I'm setting out to drive 1,000 kilometers from Montpellier in the south of France to Heidelberg in Germany. I've got a little orange Ford Fiesta, 20 years old. I've got orange nail varnish to match my car. I've got a cassette player and a heart full of hope. I've just finished a PhD in Heidelberg, and I've moved to France fairly recently to start a job as a postdoctoral scientist. And I'm going back to Heidelberg to visit my ex-PhD supervisor because I've got something he wants. I've written a paper about some of my PhD work on DNA, which is my favorite molecule, and we're going to publish that together. So for the last 2 months, every night, I've been in my hotel room in Montpellier. I haven't had time to find an apartment, and I've been working on this manuscript. I've been perfecting every sentence. I've been polishing every equation. It's like a huge, gorgeous sand castle. Every grain of sand is carefully placed. Every surface is smoothed with love, patted down with my little spade. And I've sent the manuscript to my ex-supervisor, and he's agreed to read it. And at 5 o'clock this evening, we're going to meet and discuss my beautiful creation. After years and years where he thought I was useless, I know that everything is going to be okay because he's going to love my sandcastle. So here I am in my little orange car. I'm on the Autoroute du Soleil, the Sunshine Highway. All along the highway, there are huge billboards advertising fast food, prostitutes, kitchen units. About 300 kilometers into the drive, I'm passing Lyon. My mind wanders back to the first day of my PhD, about 5 years ago in Heidelberg. And I walk into the lab on my first day. There's a tall guy with shaggy hair leaning over a workbench. And our PhD supervisor is standing next to him. And he goes, "Oh, Colin, hey, don't smoke the joint while you're loading the samples, man. You'll mix them up." Cool as a rock star, Colin goes, "Oh, hey, yeah, man, you're right." And he hands the joint to our boss. And so Colin finishes what he's doing, and they take a pull on their beer. They both giggle. And they finish the joint between them. And I'm like, oh, these guys are so cool. I wish I could belong, but I feel so stupid, so clumsy, so out of place. Back in the little orange car on the Sunshine Highway. I'm halfway, I'm passing Dijon, 500 kilometers, but I'm getting tired. The sun is high up in the sky, but I need to stop. I stop for coffee. Burning eyes. I turn up David Bowie and press on. My mind wanders back to a day, a couple of years into my PhD, after many failed experiments, many disastrous love affairs, one of them with Colin, and many bungled attempts to fit in. And I walk into the lab one day and I see a row of guys sitting on my workbench with their bottoms on the surface. They've pushed all my stuff off to the side, and they're fixated on a monitor opposite where there's a live football game playing. And I go, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Could you move off my bench? Because I need to work." And they go, we need to work too, that's why we can't watch the football at home. The anger is burning a hole in my stomach. I wish I had the guts to confront them. But I haven't lost my temper since I was 3 years old. And I'm not about to lose control now. Back in the little orange car, I finally arrive at the lab in Heidelberg after 10 hours on the road. I find my boss, my ex-boss, in the coffee room at the Friday afternoon beer hour with a bottle in his hand. I go and join the group. He ignores me. I stand there for 20 minutes until he finally looks at me and he goes, "Oh, I haven't read it." And I go, "Oh, okay, that's all right. Would you then maybe read it until Monday and then we can talk then?" Monday morning, I'm in his office with him and he hands me the manuscript covered in red pen. He's looking very pleased with himself. I take a look at the first page. He's changed nearly every sentence. He's even changed the definition of the parameter P, which defines the heart and soul of DNA, and was defined in 1961. His new version makes no sense. That's enough. That is too much. He has dared to insult my DNA, my beloved DNA. He's dared to stomp on my sandcastle and stomp it into the ground. Suddenly, I crack. All the misery and frustration and loneliness of the last 5 years bursts out, erupts in a single moment. Suddenly, I turn from a wet, whiny kitten into a roaring, raging tiger. I get right in his face. I'm screaming at him. I'm completely out of control. I go, "Define P! Go on! Define the parameter P! You can't, can you?" I don't wait for an answer. My fury propels me backwards, out of the door of the office, along the corridor, out of the back door of the building. A few days later, we submitted that paper in the original version that I had written, without any of his corrections. And that same year, the paper was accepted for publication with no further revisions. Back in my little orange car, driving back down the Sunshine Highway, back to Montpellier after that visit to Heidelberg. I'm in the driving seat, and with me, inside me, is my new friend, the big orange tiger, who finally woke up after 29 years to stick up for me when I needed it. We're singing at the top of our voices. Don't you touch my sandcastle. Don't you ever, ever dare to insult